land, whose bloodstream traced him back to the land of the first Kefir War, the second Kefir War. I hope my son is here. If he's here, can he shout? Yeah. See? I'm just here, not for all these poets or anything, just to impress my son. The next poet is Mzi Mahola, who comes from the loins of this land, whose bloodstream traced him back to the land of the first Kefir War, the second Kefir War, the third Kefir War, right up there in the Eastern Cape. And he always says that poetry is not about how beautiful your words are, how lovely your stories are, how well you deliver them. He reduces poetry to one thing, and that one thing is everything: choice of words. Simple words, accessible words, and somebody who's not afraid to say it as it is. Mzi. And Mzi comes from people who say, lala njalo ke mbambuche ndune nkulu yakulontlutsha amabhongo wafezile ubuntu bugqibile ubuyinja ngokuzala ubungumntu ngokuphathwa awonanga wonakele nezincwadi zifundisiwe akonanga okamlawu ukwenza lo mzekelo yini niyenze nje inja.
Yebo. Ndiyabulisa nawe. Molweni. Okay. Yes. I'm afraid. Really, I'm afraid. I'm afraid because I think we are coming nearer to the point of the center where we'll have to bare our souls and even our nakedness to mankind, sharing even our deepest secrets. And then what are we going to get in return? But I will do that many times for a crowd like this. Thank you very much for coming here. No, not for coming here, for allowing me to be here. Yeah. I'm used to big crowds, bigger crowds than this. And the last time I had a big crowd, there were about 40 people. And that was the biggest crowd that I had ever stood in front of. I was invited to the University of Glasgow, and I was really excited. And then I told my neighbor, a really academic person, and she wanted to know, you say, Gungu Wasis, what for? No, I'm a writer. That's what I told her. You, a writer? She's my neighbor. And then when the Scottish people asked me, how do your people receive your work? I was ashamed because Budwil was there with us, because they don't know my work. Now I say I'm scared, really. It was painful when I didn't have an audience. It is scary to know that soon I will have no secrets. Yeah, I'm trying to chip off some minutes from the time that is allocated to me. There's a special friend here who asked me to read a poem titled The Abduction. I was a student at Lovedale, and then one day, seriously, and then one day I went away. I had a cousin, brother, working somewhere there. And it had rained throughout the week. So across the Human River, the stones that were specially made or placed so that you could sort of, I used to jump, over to test my eyesight because I was a boxer. The stones were still half submerged in water, but when I came back, you could hardly see them. And then, before I went over the stones to negotiate my way, I saw that there was another lady who was trying to come over to my side. And then I gave her a chance. Now, this is what happened. The abduction. I stood on the banks of the Hume, awed by moans of that furious deluge, grabbing and uprooting debris, dragging it down its snaky bends, a dragon disturbed in its slumber, laying destruction in its wake. A young woman across was negotiating for her passage with a row of thirsty stones to come over to my side. In an instant, its wet hands snatched her by the legs, muffled her screams, and dragged her underneath. And were it not for yells that invaded my ears, she would have vanished with the hurtling rubbish. It dragged her headlong, bobbing and flipping, trying to grab anything in reach of her fingers. But the trees standing on the banks were washing, or like a guard of honor, were washing their hands. The human was abducting her to appease its angry gods. How I plunged into the stream, defied the raging beast. The entangling arms of the corpse escaped my tongue. I wrestled its muscular arms, kicking and slapping to unstrap the choking victim, who seemed even stronger than the Hume River, as she strangled and bundled me to be an offering in her place, all the while reciting a requiem. Dibambe, dibambe. In a liquid dance. And then, yeah, that's one of the things I must apologize for. I'm not used to receiving recognition after each poem that I read. So bear with me if I don't say thank you. There was a time when I had to go back to Lushington so that Lushington could complete what she had started, molding me into what I am today. And then in recognition of that contribution, I wrote a poem which says, I am a man. We spent the night drumming and dancing, singing songs of courage. Was it not the last we would be together? When the ripening period comes, we catapult into the waiting world like the seeds of tripod. The crunching frost under my unshod feet, the biting breeze of that winter's dawn, skinning my naked body, nursing sticks and threatening ways before I was forced to break the icy stream. Was it a sort of a vendetta? Numb in body and soul, I cast through charring teeth like a caged beast and defied the cardinal stiletto that left a crimson ring round my shrunken stick of manhood, where the stigma was, and I declared the divine ways of the ultimate stage. I'm a man. Thank you, guys. Yeah, I was growing, and comrades will remember, will understand that it becomes inevitable not to be involved in politics. When my eyes were seeing things, I wrote this poem. This title is Time Has Come. Time has come for me to bear the mystery of the pyramids. It is time to reroute the frolicking river from downstream. It is time to teach the West that greatness is not measured by the number of graves their weapons pile. It is not the time to choose an ideal tree from which to hang my lamp. Thank you again. Please, guys, say it when you've had enough. You know, some of the poems just fall from the sky, and I don't chase them away because they philosophize to me and make me a better person. Like this one. No regrets. In the last days of my life, what will bob in the chambers of my heart are childhood memories. At the bottom of my chest, imprints of wise ways, carved by those who blazed my way. I'll be free of regrets. I've sired no elegies, whose cries will follow my footsteps. I've shattered no souls, whose tears will flood my final street. I may have failed to stall men's rotten morals, but my slate before God is bloodless. This evening, or this afternoon, I sat with Brawili, and we were sharing sort of parental issues. I wrote this poem for my son, who represents our youth today. You must know, son, that there's a time in man's life to be turned into a solitary tree, upon which birds build their nests rate it for its fruit, and smudge it with droppings. Remember, my son, that this is the time when seasoned storms will test your strength by wrestling your boughs to see if you have roots strong enough to embarrass hurricanes. Stand firm in the hearts of those who love you and grow strong from blows of suffering, because the life of an upright man is the salt of this world. Thank you, guys. How beautiful. You know, some poems take a long time to ferment, and then it takes a long time to deliver them. This one took 24 years before I could deliver it. And it's a sad story. It was said to me then, but it was before I got married. My wife hadn't seen it. I make sure that it doesn't come across this one. And it says, honest hearts. Yes. When I first saw her, she derailed my heart. She came like a vision, a goddess to maim virgin hearts. Yet we were neighbors. Where had she been hiding? Day and night, she filled my thoughts and my eyes watered for her. But again, she vanished like a comet. She surfaced after a month, and I invited her, walking in the air. No, I'm not your type. I'm rubbish. Don't waste your time on me or I'll break your heart. She said, damaged, my heart bled and choked at her honesty. It turned out that she was my friend's sister. He said to me, it is true. He said to me, it is true, she's rubbish. Keep away from her, or she'll break your heart. Most of the time, she follows the wind. Soon she was gone with the wind, this time for good. Though I had been warned that the cave was dark inside, I still wanted to go in and see for myself. Thank you, guys. There are times in life when it seems as if the devil is in command of all your efforts. Like when I was experiencing this, it says times like this. Before he died, Father should have warned me that there would be times when I would feel that God had forsaken me. Maybe he was a stranger to God. He didn't tell me that there would be times when even those friends, what's this now? He didn't tell me that there would be times when even close friends would flee from me as if from a leper. Maybe he forgot to. He should have taught me that there would be times when even those who have known my kindness would dress me in a mask of a demon. At least he should have advised me what to do. where I should search. When my well of wisdom showed the bottom, maybe you are still going to tell me. It is hard now. I'm staring at nothing, listening to the sound of emptiness, because I didn't know that at my age, there will be times like this. I want to give you a narration of something, a joke that went sour. But I don't punish myself for this. I'm not God. This was a colleague. He was a colleague, but he's not a colleague anymore now. The title says, "Next time, use a rope." He lived fatherless for 35 years. Before he was 10, his mother abandoned him for a better life of vagrancy and hallucination of mess, turning her heart into stone, a path he later chose to escape or success. In his struggles to survive, he lost an eye as well, and the lamp was further dimmed. One evening, they found him groaning like a bullfrog under a hedge, barely taught with latex. I met him coming from hospital. We laughed about his rodent appetite. He said life was cruel. I said, next time use a rope. And you won't fail. 2 nights later, a school watchman found him dangling like a maize cob in a hut roof. Friends and relatives put him deep in a hole. Thank you. Is that not enough? No? One more? Okay. The last one. Yeah, I like this poem because it's short. It says, their democracy. Yeah. Heaps and heaps of graves are piled in Iraq in the name of democracy. Truth is, Western democracy can only stand if its foundations are firmly mortared on corpses. Yeah.
Mzi Mahola, give him a hand, please. Mzi, you from the land of Ndlambe, from the land of Hinsa, of Kalega and Khakhabe, the land of Amakonjo and Amabomvana. You have crossed the river Mbashe and came up with poetry. Don't use the rope. You say, when I write, I confess, I spill secrets. What will I get in 10? And one secret stays with me. Ha, ndibambe, ndibambe. Ndibambe, ndibambe, as the pelvic thrust of dance of desire abducted. Before you catapulted into the new world of huge crowds, numbering about 40. Some of those even 30 with stilettos piercing your manhood. You who can embarrass hurricanes and tame storms and storm the citadels of time, sometimes 24 years of fermentation. From hilariousness to ecstasy in your poetry, always with poignancy, conveyed by visceral images that stay with you even when friends flee, despite your kindness. Now, I was just listening to my adopted sons, Ezra and Amit. They are suggesting that other people want the body break. If you smoke, don't. And if you have a gun, rethink. We do not want guns anymore in this country. And if you want to, and if you want to, to be, to drink, please do. Just keep it just within the side of poetry. So because we are generous, we'll give you 20 minutes. And if you love poetry, you will use perhaps 10 and sit around here quietly so that we can have Benjamin Zephaniah, and then we are going to have Oliver Mtugudzi. But